Good evening, everyone. I'm going to call the Marion Township Board of Supervisors meeting for Thursday, February 26th to order. Time is now 7 o'clock. I'll ask everyone to please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
As always, the meetings are being recorded for audio and video. We ask you to please silence your cell phones, or please put them on vibrate so that we don't disturb the flow of the meeting. Anybody wishing to address the board can do so by coming up during the public comment period. We ask that you sign in at the front, and at the start of your public comment, clearly state your name and address for the record. We don't have anybody on the sign-in sheet.
Does anybody need an agenda that didn't get an agenda? Because I see they're out.
There's about, yeah. If you
I
have,
I
can,
was gonna say she can print one out
yeah,
real quick.
I can print more on.
Yeah, can you get like two more? Yeah, so we don't have anybody on there. Is there anybody interested in making a public comment? No, okay. When in fact, there was an executive session held after the January 29th supervisors meeting from 8:15 to 8:52. Discussions around personnel and potential litigation were held. Approval of the minutes. I'll wait until Lisa comes back, but Lisa was able to get through the outstanding minutes with the exception of February 19th meeting. So we'll have January 5th, January 14th, January 22nd, and January 29th meetings respectively to review and approve. I've already read through them. I don't have any objections or anything that needs to be updated or changed.
No.
So as soon as Lisa comes back and sits back down, we'll hammer through those real fast. While we're waiting on that, anybody that is still in need of getting their septic system pumped out, I know it's cold outside right now, but spring's just around the corner. So if you haven't done that yet and had that inspected, be sure to do so. Otherwise, there will be letters going out in the spring to get that done. Otherwise, there will be enforcement action starting to happen around June. Speaking of Sewer and Act 537, really not many updates there. We reviewed and revised the milestones that were sent to DEP. We still haven't gotten anything back from the Wilmsdorf Sewer Authority for some of the items. Colin, did you get anything from them? It's been sort of radio silent about like the joint authority.
no, I haven't.
Okay.
corresponded with them.
And then we're still waiting on we were just kind of querying about public water as well, and we haven't gotten any details back from them
Anybody else
either
need
on
help?
that.
Right there.
Thank you, Lisa. Let's get through the
Gotcha. I see what
And
you're
then,
doing.
yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay, so I'm gonna make a series of motions, or actually, I think technically I can just make them all at once. So I'll make a motion to approve the January 5th reorganizational meeting, January 14th appointment of IPMC Board of Appeals meeting, January 22nd workshop meeting, and January 29th Board of Supervisor meeting minutes.
I'll second it.
Motion made by Peter, second by Jesse. Roll call, Peter.
Aye.
Jesse.
Aye.
Denny.
Aye.
We are finalizing the newsletter. There was a little bit of back and forth on dates, so we need to decide the official dates for everything so that I can put this to print. Obviously, the meeting dates are pretty much set in stone. It would just be if there were changes to the MTCA dates, because I know there were some questions about flag dedication and things like that, or the memorial dedication. So I want to put a pin in that tonight. I want to know exactly what our dates are that are going to be put to black and white, and then I will send it off to print. So we don't have to do that right this second, but Kelly, if you're going to be here before you leave, connect up with me and Lisa, and we'll make sure we get that hammered out. Is there questions around the dedication of things like that date? Because I wasn't really party to that. So if they want to do it that date, I don't have any strong objection.
June 14th.
June 14th. Yeah. If they want to do that, that's fine by me.
Yeah, June 14th.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine by me.
And then I did.
Yeah, I saw that. Thank you. So yeah, as we get closer to June 14th, let us know. We want to obviously be involved and help out however we can to make it a success. But in terms of that being a date, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I'll put it on the newsletter then.
That's U.S. Army's birthday too.
Oh, cool.
Was that why you picked it?
Flag Day.
Yeah,
It's also
the Flag Day, okay.
Flag Day, US Army's birthday, Trump's birthday that day. Or your birthday.
It is, it's, you're a wealth of fun knowledge tonight.
Because it's my birthday that day.
Oh,
Yeah, that's the only reason I know.
we'll get you a birthday cake for the Flag Day.
Thanks.
Okay, Terra Tracker, we need some things in the newsletter about that. That's gonna go out for one of the things that we have with the DEP milestones. There have been 153 houses that have pumped out and had inspections submitted since 2024. We need to bring that number up because there's a lot more than 153 houses across the township. Grants, we have several grants. A lot of the purchases have already been made and paid for and reimbursed. The police purchases have all been made and all the purchases have been received. We're still waiting on I guess it would be an invoice technically from one of the places. Once we have that paid and the copy of the checks, we can send that last one out to the state for reimbursement. Kimberly is looking to fill out another or fill out the reimbursement for the $69,000 grant that we had gotten previously for the sewer stuff. So she should be able to get that in by the end of March, and then we'll have that come back in for money that we had spent as part of the Act 537 work for last year. We're going to be meeting with Eric Weekneck on March 5th at 2:30. We're going to be talking to him about a number of things from the building to the Act 537 to the roads in hopes that we can make a friendship and a partnership there on helping us try to get funding for certain things. We're also going to be meeting with Congressman Musser's office at some point in the near future. A date has not been defined for that. But between the two of them, we're looking to apply for some grants that could open up $100,000 for immediate refurbishment of the building. So that's one of the things that we're immediately chasing. But we're hoping they may even have some additional suggestions or avenues that we could take for a number of things. Treasurers, we don't have the treasurer's report right in front of me because we're sort of between treasurers right now. More on that later in the agenda, but I have looked over the bills for this past month, and I'll make a motion to pay the bills for February 2026.
I'll second it.
Motion made by Peter, second by Jesse. Roll call, Peter.
Aye.
Jesse.
Aye.
Denny.
Aye.
Katie will come in tomorrow. I'm gonna see if she can help me, maybe hopefully next month, but we can have a report then.
Yeah, there should be a way to build something relatively decent.
She said last time she was here to show me there was a way of doing that.
Yeah,
so.
there's some like pre-made reports, but
Mhm.
there's ways that you can customize it too.
Yeah.
So if
Yeah.
we have somebody who really knows their QuickBooks in and out, she does it,
Oh,
then yeah.
She knows it.
Yeah. So make use of the time and have
Yeah.
her help you make a
Yeah.
report that you basically just have to hit print on.
Yeah.
From an EMC standpoint, I don't see John here.
He's not here.
John met with Western Berks, Newmanstown, and Myerstown First Aid to discuss options. This is when we say paying for EMS fire services, it's having an agreement in place with those agencies and the township so that they can bill the insurance. Because from the way John described it, what's happening right now is without that agreement, the ambulance companies have to try to bill the person, and a lot of times the insurance will pay for it, but then the person pockets the money and never gives it to the EMS places. So if we have something in place there, this sort of cuts out the middleman, that the ambulance places can just bill insurance directly. So you're getting details on that, but that seems like a very easy common sense thing that we can put in place to help protect our first responders and making sure that they get paid for the things that they do. Marion Fire Company. I saw Steve and said, you want to come up and give your report?
A brief report. In January, we had 8 incidents. In Marion Township, we had 3 medical assists, 1 wires down, 1 gas leak, and we assisted on 3 mutual aid structure fires. We did receive notice that we were awarded just over $13,000 in the state grant. So once those funds come in, and we have some equipment upgrades we're planning to do, so yeah, we can make those purchases. I'll keep you updated on how we're spending our money.
Excellent. Thank you. Yeah, we usually get the foreign fire thing, I think is like April. I want to say it's like April or May that the check comes in.
Summer.
Yeah.
Relief Association.
Yeah. Yeah, so as soon as we get it, we turn it over to you guys within 30 days, so.
I appreciate it.
Very good. From an engineering standpoint, Ryan, do you have anything that you want to bring up?
I don't have anything other than what's covered later in your agenda.
Okay, fantastic. Carl, from a roadmaster standpoint, I know you sent some pictures out earlier that the brackets broke. Any luck with those? Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so I got them off and I can weld them back together, but they're pretty twisted up.
Yeah.
So when I put them back on, I might be able to get them to work. I might not.
Will we be able to get them to work like one or two more times until we can sort something more permanent?
Maybe it's just a matter if I can bend them back to where they're supposed to be, and they're kind of pretty heavy.
Yeah, I was gonna say they look.
The only other
Pretty
option is to buy new ones, and you can buy them separately for 400 and change a piece, or you can buy the whole mounting kit for 600. So I mean, but we got a potential snowstorm coming Sunday.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. How fast, if we were to buy the mounting kit, how fast would that be able to get here? Is that something you can pick up?
Dock at least would, yeah.
Okay. If
Yeah,
it's like,
I could actually come in tomorrow and pick it up and install it tomorrow and get it ready for
yeah,
Sunday.
if it's like
And then it
600,
won't snow.
yeah, I was gonna say, but if it's like $600, we want to just have,
I agree.
yeah.
We need,
So
I saw the pictures. It's-
I'll make a motion to authorize Carl to pick up the necessary mounting, bracket kit for a total of expense up to $750.
I'll second that.
Made by Peter, second by Jesse, roll call
Sorry,
Peter,
chance, will you?
All right.
Aye.
Aye.
Jesse, Jenny.
Aye.
Yeah, that's one of those things that you might be able to hodgepodge back together, but if it's $600 to get
The
the
odds
thing,
of it lasting for any length of time is
Yeah,
slim and none.
I'd rather spend the money and have
Yeah.
it so that we're not like plowing the roads and crossing our fingers that it doesn't fall apart on us at a moment's notice.
Sure, I'm
So,
gonna make it back to the shop yet.
Yeah.
It's a little rough.
okay. Anything else, Carl?
No.
Okay.
Sure.
Lisa?
Um, nothing really new. You went over the newsletter. We don't need anything. We already discussed that, the cap was taken off of Carl's, so, we do need to decide if there should be some type of a cap on the credit cards, because nobody has any cap on right
Yeah,
now.
I would say for most of us, having some like 1,000 or 2,000 or something like that would be sensible, but with the roadmaster having to buy things occasionally, or like if we go to put down something on a truck that we're putting on like on bids, we need to have somebody with a higher car.
Yeah.
And I think just by the virtue of use, it's probably gonna be car.
All right,
Well, speaking of biz, that truck went for 112.
Yeah, that was a little outside of our price range, but it was a nice looking truck.
It was in good shape.
Okay, so we'll ruminate on that
Yeah.
and decide on what we think a good cap is, but I think
Yeah.
for most things that we do, the main board is probably fine with it. And
yeah, so at this point, it's all open
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
so,
I'm not worried about that because if someone comes in and spends money, they're in trouble without proving.
yeah,
So I'm really not worried about it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It's
We
just,
shouldn't
it's a,
worry about things we don't need to worry about.
it's a soft limit. It's a safety net. But
Right.
I agree that of the things to split hairs on.
I'm not
I
gonna,
mean, I think if between Carl and I, if there's something that,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, if we need to get like a $25 piece of office equipment, I think that's okay, but you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah, any big
like
expenditures,
his expense.
we'd obviously
that
talk
is,
through,
you
but
know.
we need to have a mechanism to get it. So like, let's say he needs to buy a new plow. And it's a situation where he needs to go and do it fast. We approve it, but we don't necessarily have the PO or anything like that, where it's like, okay, put it on your card. Oh, I can't because I only have a $500. It seems silly that we're hamstringing ourselves like that.
Right.
Okay. From a police and EMS standpoint, it was quiet. Looked like from the police report last month, there was like one citation issued and a couple of traffic stops. They did a lot of patrolling. They had like 775 miles worth of highway driven to somewhere.
They had somebody pulled over when I was coming in.
Yeah, well, yeah, they had somebody pulled over. There we go. Yeah, they had 775 miles patrolled, 12 EMS fire advisories, and one traffic accident, no parking tickets, and no non-traffic citations. Actually, I take that back. One traffic citation. So quiet month there. EMS had 12 calls in January from Western Berks. We didn't have Newmanstown in the packet, so maybe we'll have that for next month. Current items, we're gonna pull the, what was that?
we gotta interview Terry.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm gonna pull Terry's. We're gonna move item number 26, which is, actually, no, not 26. Which item was that?
Building committee is number 8.
Number 8. Okay, thank you. Number 8, kind of up front. That way, Terry, who's going to be interviewing for that position, if he wants to stay, he can. Otherwise, we'll have interviewed him and you can leave if you want to. So Denny and Jesse, since you guys have been talking to the candidates more specifically than I have been for this, I'll let you guys kind of take the point on that and I'll just
You
jump in if
wanna
there's.
start? Jump in?
Go ahead.
Oh, my. Terry, you know, we listened in on the building committee and, you sound like a very, interesting person. What, with your understanding of what the plan is for the building, which is to basically restore it, what do you think that you bring to the party that we would say this is the right guy to be on the committee?
Well, let me briefly tell you about myself. I'm retired. Live with my wife, Susan. And I've worked in the finance business all my adult life. I worked first for Bank America, then Citigroup, and last was Northwest Savings Bank. I was an architecture major, but I really found the finance business to be more interesting, and that sort of led me in a different path. And, I've always been interested in architecture and especially restoring my home. I reside at 126 Main, and I've restored that home and my previous home in Wilmersdorf, which was over 100 years old, restored that as well. I'm very interested in design. I believe that if anything can be restored, you should go that route. And a lot of times I understand that it takes more money to restore buildings, but I think it pays off in the end. But you have to, consider all things. We still need things updated to today's standards. There's no way you can go about that without it costing money. I understand that. I was very interested in the group of people that I did meet at your meeting. They all seem like great people, and I think everybody that was there, if we work together, we'll certainly be able to get the job accomplished. And I don't know what the time frame is.
Yeah, I mean, looking at just having the economics of the things, I think we're looking at least 5 years, 5 to 10 years for a full refurbishment. As we've talked about, we do want to get back into the building and then, do things as we can do it. We're actually going to be talking to people about a possible grant for it. So, but I guess, do you have the patience to take, 5 to 10 years on this thing?
Oh, yes. I'm also, I attend St. Daniel's Lutheran Church in Robesonia, and I'm on the board there. I'm the vice president, and I need to get involved in something else other than church work. My church work, but
It's a church.
there's some people that are starting to annoy me.
Bless their heart.
Yes. I bless them every month. That's about it with me, and I really would look forward to being able to be on the committee. I think it'd be a new challenge for me, and
Yeah.
it's about it.
What would you, if you were to get the, position on the board, what would you like to prioritize first with the building?
Probably to make it more effective in reducing heat costs, possibly new windows.
It needs that.
So, I don't know the condition of the roof
Mhm.
or the heating system.
Mhm.
But anything that is costing us money now,
Mhm.
and we could reduce that expenditure,
Mhm.
want to go that route.
And would you want to be involved with possibly, let's say, preservation with the historical items that are in that building? Because there is 2 full rooms of community history in that building. And we're gonna need to figure out how to preserve and display it at some point.
That would be a great challenge.
Oh, it is a great job.
It's going to be it's gonna be a challenge, and it's gonna take some thought and creativity, and everybody here has an idea on what they want to see, and I'd love to see it all around the whole building. As you go through it, you get to see the whole tour of our community's history as you walk through the building and use it every day. And maybe even rotate things in glass cases so it's not exposed. I hate seeing that it's all locked up for
Yeah. It
every,
doesn't-
even it was only open an hour a year, if that, when it was displayed. And it's so awesome. I know that was the first thing that put an impression on me when I moved to this community, was my home that was built in 1840, and that when we toured it. I remember that like it was yesterday. So one thing I want to say about this gentleman is when I got my 10 signatures, him and his wife had the opportunity to interview me. And I got to see that beautiful home that you've done. I'm extremely impressed with the work you've done. The story I've told everybody about the fireplace, that huge colonial fireplace, that's his house. He put a lot of time and effort and work into that, and it takes a lot of knowledge to be able to do that the right way, and you did.
It's an 18.
It's impressive. It's very impressive.
One of the first brick homes here in Stoutsburg.
I'm impressed with the work you did.
So Terry, your background sounds very good. You talked about the people you saw on the committee. What do you think you bring to the committee as far as, being a driver of making things happen? What's your style in doing that?
Well, I've always been a leader. There's 2 types of people, a leader and a follower. And I've always been a leader all my adult life. And I think I have a lot that I could help this committee with. And they all seem to be, their personalities, which those that I know. So I think, there'll be great leadership there coming out of that committee.
That's what we'd like to see. So.
Yeah.
Any questions, Peter?
No, I You guys asked all the usual things that I tend to fish for anytime I interview people. I've had the pleasure of talking to Terry before. I think he would be a good, calm, stabilizing element for any of the, I'll say math related phonetics that sometimes happen. So, I'm satisfied with the interview. You
Okay.
guys had the opportunity to interview the other people. I
Yeah.
know who they are, but I didn't have the same depth of questioning that they did. So I'll leave it up to you guys on that, but I'm in support of Terry.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Terry. I appreciate it.
So out of the candidates that you guys have talked to, including Terry, what are your thoughts on a front runner for a candidate for that?
They both brought, good skills, good background for it. The thing I like about Terry is that, as far as the architecture and, he obviously cares a lot about buildings, and, I think that's probably our primary need. And the nice thing is he also does have a, interest in doing the, historical items, because that's a massive task in itself, so.
And he understands the financial constraints of doing something.
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, that's,
Having worked in finances, you understand the dollars and cents aspect of it.
so I think they both brought something nice to the party, but I feel like Terry is a stronger candidate, especially on the building side of it.
With what I saw, what you did with your home and the knowledge it took to do what you've done, I'm impressed. I could learn a lot from you. You have my support for the position.
What do you guys want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to nominate Terry for the building committee board. Appoint Terry. What's your last name, sir? I'm sorry.
Williams.
Terry, I'll make a motion to nominate Terry Williams, appoint Terry Williams to the building committee.
I will second that.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Motion made by Jesse, second by Denny, roll call, Peter.
Aye.
Jesse,
Aye.
Denny.
Thank you, Terry. You're welcome to stay for the whole meeting, but at this point, if you want to skedaddle at any point, feel free.
I'll stay. I want to see what you guys are up to.
That's fine.
That's fair.
Okay,
Well, the
so,
first one is about the building.
yeah, so the first one is about the building. Renew Source, which was previously Septic Solutions, will be out March 3rd to replace the septic pipe that goes from the building to the septic tank that has been crushed. And then EHC asbestos pipe and the insulation in the basement is going to be remediated for $4,945.
We would have to make a motion for that.
Okay.
Because we
Oh, so you only talked about it on.
we only talked about it.
Okay.
We didn't want to make a decision without.
Okay.
Is
Okay,
that is that a new quote?
So that was the new quote from Ilio, the one that works with Keplerling Preservation Services. He's the guy that walked through the building with me about removing the asbestos out of the basement.
I'm actually surprised it's more. but-
Yeah, that's, if they're gonna get rid of the asbestos for that amount of money, I'm happy with that number.
Oh, yeah.
So, okay, based on what I was reading, it seemed like you guys did already, but since you didn't, I'll make a motion to authorize EHC asbestos pipe and fitting. Would be, I guess, the full name of the company.
It's
Is it in the packet?
Is the packet in there? I have it in my email. We need to.
it said EHC on the.
Okay, so if I say EHC, we'll know what we're talking about. Yes. Okay, thank you. I'll make a motion to authorize EHC, the Environmental Hazard Control Company, to come in and remediate the asbestos pipe and fitting insulation in the basement of the old Marion Township building for $4,945.
That,
Motion made by Peter, second by Denny, roll call, Peter.
Aye.
Jesse.
Aye.
Denny.
aye.
Now,
Okay.
will they do like the mold in the building itself, or do we need to look for somebody
Well,
else? to do that?
First and foremost,
Or
and
the,
we've had discussion before.
I know,
We need to get the asbestos out of that building.
Yeah.
right,
Okay?
Then we can start Lysoling.
Then when we figure out, when we clean the building, what mold is there, we can mediate that then. When I walked through that building and I was up in the attic and that throughout the whole thing, there is no wet mold growing anywhere. There's dried stuff on the floor from previous damage. which we have to cut that rotted sections out, right? I can do that. I would rather not pay somebody to do that.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, that's what I was
Most-
getting at.
Most of the mold stuff, I think, was prevalent from the basement because there
Yeah.
was moisture collecting on insulation that
Yeah.
had hit the ground and things like that. So once we get that cleared out, I think it becomes a situation where we have to wipe stuff down and spray stuff with Lysol and things like that.
And then we can
And
get
then,
remediating spray.
Yeah.
We will do that. We don't need to.
yeah, we don't
Okay.
need a special,
what I was- I didn't
asbestos
wanna
you
make
have to
sure.
treat as hazmat. The mold
Yeah.
situation is,
Right. And one thing that we're gonna have to, from which what I learned when I walked through there with him, when the pipe blew and Carl was nice enough to fix it that
Mhm.
time. And I was walking through water up to almost my knees in points, is that there is a drain pipe that goes from that wall where the pipe burst to the sub pump down in that basement.
Hmm.
And that pipe needs to be snaked out.
Oh, okay. How long is it?
Very well, it's as long as the basement. So it goes from where the water softener is, where the wall is, it goes right beyond that wall.
Yeah.
And it goes all the way over to that sub pump.
Okay.
And the sub pump works.
Yeah.
It's just the pipe doesn't work.
I have a 25-foot snake.
It might
More-
take something pretty rough to get
Okay.
through that, because it's gonna be, it's old cast iron pipe and it looks like it's starting to
Okay.
close up. So
I mean,
it's gonna need some heavy duty.
Let's poke at it and if we gotta get a plumber.
That goes, that pipe goes to.
It just goes from literally basically the other side of that block wall all the way to where this sub pump is.
Yeah, so it's just like it's a drain line for
Yes,
the
it's
water
a pitched
softener.
drain line for if there's a water break over there, it would drain over
Does
to
that go
that.
out to the septic system or is there a French drain it goes in?
Some pump and then it's ejected outside.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah, I
can,
couldn't see where I was going outside. That's why.
Because that
yeah, I
that
mean,
was the other thing eventually I wanted to talk to Carl about was what we talked last meeting about was getting rid of the old salt bags that are there that've been down
Yeah.
there forever. The rotted cabinet, which does have mold on it.
Yeah.
So if you
Garbage.
need masks, I will get you some.
yeah,
And the old water softener that's down there can be disposed of as well, that was left down there.
yeah, take that out.
That can all just go to trash.
Yeah, same thing with the old oil furnace down
Yeah.
there. We rip that out, that can just go out for scrap.
Well, once we get the asbestos off that pipe,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
then
yeah.
we can take that
Yeah.
out. I didn't want
We don't want
dispose
to
any-
disturb it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get you, but
because
there's,
I already asked in the email and they responded back. So we gotta make sure they do it. When we get everything out, I asked them, are they gonna clean up the floor? And they said yes, because there's a lot of dust on that floor from the asbestos when it came down.
Mhm.
So I wanted to make sure that was one of the items that they were gonna take out of that basement when it leaves. So, because there's gonna be asbestos particle in that dirt.
yeah,
and that
that's
ground-
part of the remediation. They're not supposed to leave.
Right.
That stuff.
Any asbestos in the boiler?
It's new enough that I don't think so.
Yeah.
That looked like a 80s.
Yeah.
Sort of thing, maybe 90s, but it's definitely not original to the
Well,
building
it's
for sure.
past 78, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, next item is trade-ins. We're gonna be looking at putting the boom mower up on Municipal in spring. We'll just kind of waiting on some input from Carl on what we think the best fairest price would be for that. So that we can sort of juggle some things around and potentially get a new truck and then plows and et cetera to adjust what our outfit is for maintenance and care. Future planning, obligatory statement, open to us, everybody in the audience. If there are ideas for Marion Township as a community, that would either be general things about beautification, efficiency, doing things that we already do but better, or things that we don't do but we should do. Please give the office a call, send us an email. We relish input, and if it's something that we can fit into the general outline and budget of things, it's something that we want to take to heart and try to react to in terms of what the community is looking for. Short and long-term rentals, Kraft has sent out the 2026 rental applications and letters. I think are they gonna give us the list before they send out the reminder letters? Or we just having them send it?
We're just gonna have them send it, and when
Okay.
people yell that they got a letter and didn't need it, we'll put that out then.
Okay.
Just because really didn't know what to do right at this point. It's
Yeah.
going too long.
Yeah, no, I'm all for sending the letter. I was just curious if we were reviewing first, so.
The letter was in the packet.
Oh, yeah, I read the letter. I just wasn't
Okay.
sure if it got sent.
Yeah, it did.
Okay.
Do you talk to anyone about it or no? About sending those letters?
They've been sent out.
Okay.
Yeah, they already been sent out. Do you still want this on the?
No, I
agenda?
was actually gonna say, if they've been sent, we can take item number 5 off for next
Yeah,
month.
and, it was decided not to have any type of meeting or anything.
I don't think it needed. It's needed.
Next is trash ordinance. We updated that to require proof of trash and recycling for all properties in the township. Residences are easy. You're required to have the township hauler. Same thing with recycling. Businesses and farms used to be different, but we changed it so that you no longer have to put in a dumpster exemption request. Simply provide proof that you have trash and recycling and you're good to go. Letters.
Still a lot of confusion with this.
Yeah. We're still getting phone calls about that, but we should, we still did like the beginning of draft of the letter?
The letter's been sent out.
Letter's been sent, okay.
Yeah,
So
that's
thank
why
you.
they're calling.
Yeah,
They're not understanding that they need to have trash and recycling.
well,
And they're not sure
that's-
what, they're not used to the recycling and they're not sure what needs to be recycled and.
So here's what I'm gonna say, and I hate to be the mean guy again.
Mhm.
Send them a copy of the ordinance. It's not,
It doesn't spell out like specifically, but if you call up at recycling, like, let's say you call up JP Mascaro.
That ordinance defines the recyclable.
It's the same,
materials in town.
okay.
yeah,
Well,
because you
okay.
did that.
Well,
whole thing.
hold on. So it defines the recycling materials in town. That would be, does it specifically say that it's the same for everybody else across the township?
So it's just-
Like it spells out like the,
No, because the other residents in town are bound by the contract
yes.
with Mascaro.
yeah,
That separately defines
yeah.
recyclables,
Well,
I think.
My point is if somebody who had a farm called up and said, hey, I need recycling, and whether it's JP Mascaro or whoever,
Right.
they say, okay, we do recycling, we take glass, plastic, newspaper.
Mhm.
That's fine, but
Which is set forth in the new
Yeah,
ordinance.
yeah.
Of
So,
what-
I mean, we can send them a
of
copy.
what
of
should
the
be
ordinance,
recycled.
But I have a feeling that's, I think largely gonna be a waste of paper and postage.
I'm trying to go over it with them. They're still a little confused, because they didn't recycle, so they're not sure what to recycle. And I went over
Yeah.
that list that you just
Yeah.
said. But then I also said, once they contact their hauler, they should be getting a list from their hauler
Yeah.
too,
Yeah,
once they sign up
'Cause
for recycling.
some haulers will actually do more than what our minimum
Right.
requirement is.
Yeah.
Like some people recycle the foam stuff, like the number 7, like styrofoam.
Yeah, some don't.
And some don't. Some
Yeah.
people like JP Mascaro recycles grocery bags. Most other places don't. So there's gonna be a little bit of variability there, but as long as it holds true that what we have defined for the main hauler that does the residential properties is the same, just have them use that as their starting point.
Cause I haven't read it in a while,
Yeah,
but I remember reading the old one and I remember.
It is the same because the first section of that ordinance, I believe, provides that all of the residential properties participate in the trash and recycling program through the township.
yeah,
So the definition of recyclables
Is
for the
defined for that.
residents applies also to
okay,
the non-residents who need to procure their own trash and recycling services.
okay. So yeah, if they have questions, we can steer them to that, but if we send them the whole ordinance, I think that's just gonna be, they're not gonna read it. It's just gonna be a phone call, so.
Yeah.
The only thing I could say is we can make sure we put it up on the website, maybe like a little bulletin for like any questions
If
around.
these people call a hauler and say that they need recycling service,
Yeah,
the hauler will know what to do.
yeah, that's kind
And
of,
the hauler will say, here are the things that I take to recycle.
Right, which
Yeah,
is
yes.
generally acceptable.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Yeah, we're not doing anything weird or crazy when it comes to recycling. We're doing recycling. So. Okay,
Well, the county came down on me
Yeah.
last year, and that's
yeah,
where a lot of this was coming from, because Jane from the county was like, you guys are supposed to be recycling out there.
yeah. Yeah. Well, we've sent the letter out, like we said, so we'll keep fielding phone calls, and if we have to send a follow-up letter, we'll send a follow-up letter. And beyond that, it would be enforcement. We'll have crafts going out and so craft.
Yeah.
It's an ordinance, yeah. Taking care of making sure people are aware of that.
Now, do we have list of haulers or they just need to go out and find a home?
They, as long as it's not a residential property that is bound by the
Right.
main contract,
Yeah.
it can literally be whoever they want.
Okay.
So whether it's TNT or JP Mascaro or Eagle or whoever,
Right.
if they have somebody that they can provide proof that, yes, I get trash pickup once a week, I get recycling pickup once or, every other week, then that's what we care about.
So that's basically the hauler will tell them what they recycle and
Yep, the hauler will tell them that, and then any of the people that are doing hauling in the township will provide us details about tonnage for recycling.
A form of the trash and recycling could be a dumpster.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That remains sufficient.
Yeah.
You just need proof.
We need proof,
of it.
yeah.
Yeah, because that was one of the biggest questions too, is, well, I already have a dumpster, does that mean I gotta get rid of my dumpster? I'm like,
No,
no, you can
No.
still have your dumpster.
you just gotta give us proof that you're actually getting it picked up.
Yeah, and the dumpster is for the trash, but you have to show that you're also
Yeah,
having
recycle.
recycling.
I got it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, annual audit. Unfortunately, Barbara Akins, stopped being our auditor as of last year. We have received a number of proposals for having that professional audit done. First one is Herbine with a, proposal of 11,500, CR&Y with 11,250, Jones and Company for $10,880, and SEK for $12,250.
SEK. That is for getting it done by March. But
Yeah.
if they go meet the
can't-
other people,
We can't go beyond March.
my understanding is that we can ask for an extension. And
We might be able to ask for it, but we're cutting it a little close, I think.
the other outfits here aren't going to have it done by the time.
They might actually.
All of them quoted June, July, August. They were all beyond.
Really?
Yeah.
Because that was the only one that I saw that specifically in was the SEK, because they actually had a pricing schedule. If it was before
Right.
a certain date, it was one cost. And if it was after a certain date, it was another cost.
Now, how did Barb do it? Because she came in beginning of June last year. Well, yeah.
She was in there before June.
Oh.
She had to have been.
Mm-mm. Yeah, she came out here in June. I'm almost positive it was June.
Thought it was a little colder.
Yeah, I thought it was like March. But see what it says.
My 2 cents on it is, we'll give it to the person that can do it the soonest,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
I disagree with that. I
we
think,
want
I
everybody
think what
to
we
do
need
it well.
to do is need to pick somebody and talk to them
And see when they can do
and
it.
see if, because at the boot camp, the finance guy said when you have a reason, which we lost their guys, they're usually very accommodating as far as
Who's
extensions.
they, DCD?
Whoever manages.
Yeah, I would say it's probably DCED.
He was saying he had one outfit that had problems and they literally didn't do it for 2
Well,
years.
at a minimum, we ought to contact DCED,
Right.
inform them that we lost our
Yes. I agree.
CPA, and say that we may need an extension on the deadline,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, I think that's
regardless of who we choose tonight.
Yeah.
it's worth a try, if nothing else.
Which one was the one that said they could do it in March, though?
SEK said they
yeah.
could, but it's gonna cost 12,000.
So it's gonna cost more.
Yeah, it's a little more, but they'll move us up in the schedule.
You can go
Yeah, that's
ahead.
Penny's spreadsheet there.
Yeah. So SEK would be able to do it April to August for 10,000. Or January through March for 12,250, audit complete by March 31st. Herbine would be anywhere from February to June.
They would start in February and they'd be finished in June.
Oh, February is now.
Yeah.
Well, we had the.
Yeah, I know. But I'm just saying, if we were to authorize them to do that, it's not like they're gonna get that done in February.
Exactly.
So I
Then
tell
can't-
her to do the ladies room.
Yeah.
So we
Um,
could assume that that would be pushed back a month.
That
a
would
month
be,
and a
that would
half,
be at least
Yeah,
March.
roughly.
Well, no, February is when they would start.
Well, my point is, we've got like 2 days left in February.
Right. So,
So the likelihood
so
of
they're
them
not
doing
gonna
that,
get done in June, they're gonna get done in July or.
yeah. It doesn't take them 3 months to do the audit though.
They have a few more people than us. You know, they got
Yeah.
a lot of people.
Well, that's what I mean. Like even Barbara Akins, she had the audit done in like a week.
Yeah.
So,
I'm just
Yeah.
down there is what they gave as the information.
yeah. I mean, money's money, but honestly, the difference between 11,500 and 12,250 in the grand scheme of things is not, we're not talking about a huge difference there. Where if SEK is still gonna be able to commit to getting it done by March 31st, and they've got 189 governmental customers, that might be the best.
I'll let you guys fight this one out.
Yeah. I mean,
Well,
I just want it to be, I want it to be done, and I want it to be done right, and I want it to be done in the most cost-effective way that we can.
Mhm.
So if we can get confirmation, like let's have a SEK, like that's my preference out of the group
Okay,
of them.
I would agree.
We reach out to DCED and see if they can give us an extension, and if they can give us an extension, then we tell them that the April to August one is fine.
If not, we.
Yeah.
You want to, so you.
We want to
you
appoint
you want-
SEK,
You want to, well,
but not
you want a
necessarily,
motion to appoint SEK at the lowest quoted price to the extent that DCED
will allow.
gives us an extension on the
Yeah.
April 1st deadline.
And that's kind of where I was going with that. We want to use them regardless, but if we can get DCED to give us an extension, that lowers it by basically $2,000.
So, and if not, we'll still retain SEK at the higher price.
Yeah.
That's the motion.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to appoint SEK as the new auditor. Cost dependent upon the approval of an extension by DCED, ranging from a cost of either 12,250 to 10,500, to be paid at whatever the lowest cost possible is.
Second.
Motion made by Peter, second by Jesse, roll call, Peter,
Aye.
Jesse.
Aye.
Denny.
Aye.
Do you want a motion to instruct Lisa to contact DCD?
Yes,
inquiring about that
absolutely.
extension?
Thank you, good point. So I'll make a motion to authorize Elisa to contact DCED about the extension on the annual audit.
I'll
For
second
the,
that.
for the reason that we lost our.
Yeah, for the reason of not currently having a auditor,
And the treasurer.
and well, that too, but
Yeah.
more this than that.
So I second that.
Motion made by Peter, second by Denny, roll call, Peter.
Aye.
Jesse.
Aye.
Denny.
I suggest you might want to call SEK. They might be a good person to be able to talk.
They might have somebody that they normally
Yeah.
deal with at DCED
Right.
about that kind of stuff.
Okay,
Call them first and see if they have any recommendations. Save yourself a headache potentially.
alrighty.
Okay, road maintenance. Carl is still diligently working on the 5-year maintenance cycle plan. He's got, last time I talked to him, roughly 3 out of the 5 years populated, based on our budget projections. I think Carl's had his hands full with plowing snow and fixing trucks, so he probably doesn't have any update on that. That's A-okay.
And buying
But-
part pieces to
Brian and
the.
I gotta get together on that as well.
Yeah, and say, well, as things go, we'll start to get that coalesced so that we have the rolling submissions for dirt and low volume gravel. We have the upcoming years, okay, but having more of them kind of on deck and ready to go, along with the other roads that we want to focus on remediating. And Bollinger Road, because of the potential litigation around that, we're not going to be having open discussion.
We asked that last meeting, does this still need to stay on the agenda?
I would say yes, simply because it is still an opening.
Yeah.
Unless Colin disagrees with that. Or
It doesn't
it can
need to be on
be,
the agenda if we're not taking action, but if you want it there
Well,
anyway.
Malika, didn't you-
my concern is we might have something that we have to have like an executive session for. And like, does that matter if it's not on the agenda if we have to have it?
No, so long
Okay.
as we announce the purpose of the executive session at the next possible meeting, does not have to be Does not have to remain.
I'll save the ink, take it off next month.
Okay, or should I just put it down to the old business archive?
Just take it off.
Alright.
The State Route 419, 12B bridge replacement. Hilariously enough, for anybody that wasn't here the first meeting, PennDOT got in trouble from Berks County Conservation because they didn't follow the rules about how you have to do stuff. So PennDOT has resubmitted to BCCD to address the deficiency comments for that project. So nothing that we have to do, nothing we did, but state and county agencies are going back and forth about that bridge project.
And I can remove that now.
Yeah, we can take that off unless there's some change by next month, but road issues, School Road, there's some pavement, some cracking in the new paving that was done a little while ago. Carl, I had a question for you. Is that something that we can crack seal reliably, or is that going to be something that's a little more involved?
Where you see the pictures?
Not
It-
in any of the,
Do you have the pictures here for Peter to see?
I mean, I saw the pictures, but I couldn't really get the
They were
full.
printed over there, weren't they? Or they-
The one he printed, or,
It looked pretty gnarly.
yeah, it's pretty bad.
That's why, like, are we gonna have to cut out, or is it gonna be something we can crack seal, or?
There's areas.
Well,
where I think
It looks like they're eventually gonna turn into this.
Okay, so we're probably gonna have to do a cutout on
Open
that.
the Abbey over
Yeah.
there. to
But
put
It should be.
Confidence and authority.
Network.
I think that's the section that was done like 6 or 7 years ago.
No, it's a
No,
new
is
section.
that the new section? It's the brand new section? Then yeah, that should be under warranty. I thought it was the,
Those pictures came from right between.
I'm thinking of the wrong section then.
And then that new pipe, there's a picture where they put that new pipe in. so
Yeah.
resettled. There's a different-
Okay, then yeah, we need to call on the warranty on that then. I thought that was the older part. That's my mistake.
No.
So yeah, let's get the details on that, Carl, and let's call the contractor and get them back out there. Ryan, you might have to go out and look at it too. But that's new enough that absolutely should be part of the guarantee on the work. Okay, Carl's hunting down the pictures, which we can pass around, but like I said, it looked pretty gnarly, so I was curious, like how, it's okay. How involved we had to get, and it sounds like it's gonna be a little more than basic. Blue Spruce, no new business on that. Twilight Acres, they're working on holding tank permits. The SEO is working with Colin on the holding tank agreement. There's new actions on Alden on 6th. There's no new actions on Martin's Church project. The Gerald Weaver project, the Planning Commission met on February 17th and has recommended the awarding of the waivers.
So just some clarification.
Yes,
Gerald Weaver, 875 School Road, the planning commission recommended a waiver of land development for that project.
okay,
That waiver request is in my engineer packet. And just backing up Alden on 6th, that latest review letter is in my engineering packet as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so for the Gerald Weaver project, the planning commission recommended to the board, they consider a full waiver of land development. The project will still have a zoning review and stormwater management review, all of which are underway.
yeah, and then the Oberholzer one, this is the one that I was more specifically clued into. Is
Before we
yeah,
take the next step.
Yeah.
Do we want to make a motion to waive land development review contingent upon the property owner obtaining any and all necessary permits as determined by the township engineer? Do you need anything else in that motion?
No, I think that's good.
Okay.
I mean, it's been recommended by the planning commission, and I don't see any reason to run counter to that. So I'll make a motion to approve the land development review waiver contingent upon the property owner obtaining all necessary permits from the township.
Oh, God. Danny seconded it. Oh,
Motion made by Peter, second by Denny, roll call Peter.
Aye.
Jesse.
Aye.
Denny.
he got me. He was faster.
Quicker on the draw. So for the Oberholzers, AG operations, planning commission met on the 17th about this as well. They recommended a series of waivers. From looking through this, this is the usual gambit of things, waiver for, having a site plan not necessarily provided at the 1 inch per 100 foot. Not having to complete a boundary survey, not having to do a topographical survey. Thing about, bearings and distances on proposed easements being reflected in the plan. A waiver, and the one that I had a question about was if they're doing stormwater pipes, they're normally required to be RCP or asphalt coated CMP. What were they asking for the waiver on that from?
So they would like to do plastic pipe. Bert and I from Nye Consulting is
Yeah.
here and can review that plan with you if you'd like. A number of these waivers really pertain to two items when you boil it down. Ag projects, normally on large farms, you'll see waiver requests to not have to do a full survey of the farm.
Yeah.
Right. From time to time, that's either a full waiver of that survey, which is more of what you see here, or if the ag structure is located in close proximity to one or two property lines, we will have them locate those lines so we can verify setbacks. So a number of these variance distances, property corner markers is a result of not requiring a survey of the full. Most of your stormwater waivers here pertaining to concrete pipes, size of pipe, low flow channels, minimum grades in basins, things of that nature, are due to two things. Again, it's an ag type use. Typically, you're capturing the water right from these large buildings. In this case, you have chicken barns. And you're running it through a basin immediately. And a lot of the requirements that are in our stormwater ordinance were really set up for shopping centers, parking lots, things of that nature. As well as some of the requirements are a bit dated for something like a low flow channel, minimum basin grades. That's a kind of 1990s, so to speak, type requirement where we wanted to get water through these basins. Currently, the latest model from DEP is that we hold water and try to infiltrate it to some degree. So a number of those aspects really play into these 12 waiver requests that are before you. The planning commission did go through them in detail with Bert and recommended that the approval of it. This is a similar list to what you will see with ag type facilities. A number of the concrete type, when you look at concrete pipes, concrete outlet structures, those requirements kind of pertain to, again, shopping centers, places where you would have a maintenance contractor coming in, doing the mowing, doing the maintenance, that kind of thing. Here you have a property owner that's likely to take a little bit different care of their facility. So I think it's appropriate to not require those big heavy structures.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, most of the waivers I recognize from the usual things. The only one that wasn't one of the most common offenders was the pipe waiver. Otherwise, it's the curbs, it's the sidewalks, it's the corner markers, etc.
And today what we see 9.5 times out of 10 is the smooth line plastic pipe, that is common, the black pipe you see.
Yeah. Okay. I have no problems with this. I'll make a motion to
Grant the
waivers contingent upon obtaining all necessary permits from the township.
Well, no, so these are waivers with respect to regulations in the Saldo.
Okay.
The project is still going through land development review and approval.
Okay.
So, the board would want to make a motion to waive the Saldo regulations as outlined in Kraft's February 26th engineering report.
That's fine.
Okay. I'll make a motion to waive the Saldo regulations as outlined in Kraft's February 26th engineering report for the Overholzer AG operations project.
And I'll second it.
Motion made by Peter, second by Jesse. Roll call, Peter.
Aye.
Jesse.
Aye.
Denny.
Aye.
And Mr. Nye, are you seeking conditional plan approval tonight?
Yes, absolutely, at this point. And we got that recommendation from the PC.
Okay.
And Ryan and I pretty much, I think, have everything addressed. if there's needs to be an action to do the letter of credit or sign any of those final agreements. We've been waiting,
Sure.
or he's been waiting for a long time. So I'm
Thank
just
you
trying
for
to
your client's
cover,
patience.
yeah,
Yeah.
every basis we
Right.
possibly can.
And
to have-
those items are captured in the review letter.
Yeah.
They would be a typical condition of approval that, they would submit the letter of credit.
Do you have any concerns with a conditional approval tonight?
I do not.
All right, so in that case, the board would want to make a motion to conditionally approve the Overholzer agricultural operation land development plan conditioned upon the developer satisfying all comments in Kraft's last review letter dated February 11th, 2026, which includes but is not limited to execution of and compliance with an improvements agreement and a stormwater agreement.
Will you be able to capture that from the minutes if I just say what you said?
Mhm.
Okay. My motion is what you said.
And I'll second it.
Motion made by Peter, second by Jesse, roll call, Peter.
Aye.
Jesse.
Aye.
Denny.
Aye.
I was trying to write it all down, but I can't write that fast.
What's the anticipated cost of the municipal improvements? Do you have that number?
I'm just waiting on Ryan to
Okay.
verify.
Yeah, we were working through.
Yeah, it's fine. We're good. So appreciate everyone's time this evening. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Bring it back.
I'll start working on those agreements.
Okay, thank you, Colin. Next item is the letter of credit, reduction request from Dutch Valley. Their letter of credit is currently 140,036. Requesting to reduce this down to 25,339.50. Question I had is, has adequate progress been made that would warrant that reduction in the letter of credit?
Yeah, so there's a bit of a confusion here with what's in the agenda versus the file that we were provided and our recommendation, which was in our engineer's report dated February 19th. So I believe that there was a recommendation by Systems Design, which was never forwarded to the letter of credit holder. And so what we did was we went through, there were two previous recommendations for release. One was from McCarthy Engineering and a second from Systems Design Engineering. Our understanding was that the original escrow amount was $1,840,436.30. And that total of the two previous releases was $1,814,000 or $814,192.80. This is again outlined in our report. That would leave a current balance of $26,243.50. However, I think that the systems design recommendation was approved but never provided to the letter of credit holder, is what I'm gathering from the correspondence we have. So based upon our review, we were recommending that the board authorize now a third reduction in a small amount of $7,627.50. This was to cover tree and landscape planting that had been performed. We went out and verified it. And that the current balance would then be $18,616 even. Included in that outstanding balance is really some final closeout items, including as-built plans and some other things of that nature. There's some minor improvements that they haven't completed that are holding up the performance of that as-built survey and some other things. So at this point, I would be requesting, and Colin, tell me, if we need to take a step back here. But I believe that the accurate balance should be $18,616 even. So I'd be requesting that the board authorize us to move.
How about we move to release any escrow held, but for
18,600.
Yep, but for that number.
Okay, what was the number? 18,000?
616 even.
I will make a motion to release any escrow funds to Dutch Valley Foods in excess of the calculated total of $18,616.
I'll second that.
Motion made by Peter, second by Denny, roll call, Peter.
Aye.
Jesse.
Aye.
And Denny.
Aye.
Okay. Cool, thank you. Yeah, I was kind of confused with that one from reading through stuff, so thank you very much for the explanation.
Yeah, again, I think that there was a release that was approved but never provided to the credit.
Good to know. Next up, business projects. Denny, get some time with you, but the real simple explanation for projects is if you're in teams.
Right. Yeah, no, I've been working with it on another thing.
Yeah, and say there's a
Pretty nice.
planner, there's a planner board in there, and if you have the teams file directory on the side here, this one doesn't for whatever reason. On the main, not the file room, but if you go up to the parent level of that, up at the very top ribbon, there's a planner board link that you can click. I'm sure you've used Planner.
Yeah.
It's a standard Kanban board.
Yeah.
We can start putting project things for Carl on there, and Carl can start tracking work and keep cards on things for us that we're working on, whether it's building stuff or getting the septic pipe repaired, the memorial dedication, if somebody's taking point on that. We can start using that to sort of keep everybody.
Yep.
Does he have access to that?
So you can tie things on Planner to the Outlook calendar. It's not explicitly going to do that by default, but you can create a card and tie it to an event or another task that you.
Gotcha.
And it'll remind you.
Oh yeah, you can set it to be really annoying if you want. But take a look at it. If you have any questions, let me know. I use it a little bit at work. Denny uses it, so with our powers combined, we can.
Yeah, I like it.
Does Denny have access now?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say. We get a couple minutes. I can help you do that. But you have a full license, and you have Planner and everything turned on. So it would just be making sure that you have the right view set up for stuff.
Right.
So
Okay.
if there's a day, maybe in the afternoon, like next week or the week after that, bring him your laptop or your iPad or whatever, and I'll help you figure it out.
You would do it like after the meeting on with
Yeah, we can do it. Yeah, we can do that after the. Okay, new business. We obviously are between treasurers right now. Lisa put together a position description. I'd like to make a motion to put that up on Indeed and LinkedIn. We've already gotten one resume for consideration, but I want to pull in a bunch more so that we can do the interviews.
Second that.
Motion made by Peter, second by Jesse. Roll call, Peter.
Aye.
Jesse.
Aye.
Denny.
Okay,
We just discussed number
we
22.
just still discussed that. So Denny actually already has everything configured. We just gotta get him sort of set up with that, be familiar with the access. I think we're one license short if we were gonna give Abby access.
Okay.
That's either $6 or $8 a month for the license. Since Abby's gonna be doing more stuff with secretary stuff and helping with the roadwork stuff. I'm kind of the mind that we reach out to like Top Flight or whoever does the licensing. I can't remember the name of the company. It's something. It's in my email box, but getting an additional license. No, that's the website. Namecheap is the website. Just getting a license that we have the right number of entitlements to have mailbox and Teams access. Because like I said, it's $96 for the year, give or take.
I like Teams. It works.
Yeah,
well.
as I say, it's a good collaborative tool, and you
Easy to
have
work.
access to Planner and everything else when you have the license. So, if you guys are okay with it, I'll make a motion to purchase an additional license as needed for Microsoft Teams, Outlook, sharing access for Abby.
I'll second that.
Motion made by Peter, second by Denny. Roll call, Peter.
Aye.
Jesse.
Aye.
Denny.
That might be something for the treasurer too, eventually.
Yeah, I'd say if we have somebody that isn't
Right.
coming in, that we would want to have a specific going on.
Some of it you can.
Although honestly, if they're just doing the treasurer work, I don't know how much they wouldn't need a Teams account. I could set them up with a shared mailbox so that they have like treasurer at Marion Township rather than a named account. So I can get creative with that. We might not have to do that, but I think it makes sense to have the license for Abby since she's going to be floating around doing a bunch of stuff for a hot minute. I solved payroll cost for that service is going to go up by about 5.19% effective March 1st. It typically goes up between 3 and 5% every year, so I'm really not surprised by that at all. Pole building. You had been looking at quotes from a couple places, and then you're gonna be working with Carl getting some quotes too for the salt shed / garage replacement option. And
Dennis is looking at a company too, right? Was that you that responded back, or was that Carl you talked about?
I think
A different company.
Denny said something about,
I looked at New Holland.
Cool. Yeah, hey. And welcome as many quotes as possible,
Yeah.
of as many
yeah,
different buildings. I'm gonna try to go now. I guess I'm gonna try to steer into the steel structures a little bit.
Yeah, we can always say, wood and then say option steel and see what happens.
yeah, we'll see.
Steel industrials are better.
Yeah, they're
Just
more
to-
expensive.
Let's just see
but-
what the cost would be
Yeah.
different.
Yeah, it was interesting when I was reading it, they didn't throw out that this is more expensive, so
Right.
I think it's probably not that far.
It's not too far off. And when I really dug into the building cost, the building is not what costs the money, it's the labor.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
buy the building and have it dropped off
Oh, yeah,
and put it together, but it's gonna
we
take.
could do it together, wouldn't take more than 2 or 3 years.
Yeah,
We'll need some, real,
we'll have
big equipment.
volunteers from the community. It'll be
Better start sweet talking Weco now.
slow motion barn raising. Yeah, no, let's get a bunch of quotes, and once we have the quotes, the next step is to see if we can put in for like an LSA grant or something to help fund it.
Yeah.
So, 4050 Conrad Weiser, I guess we have to ratify the issuance of the zoning notices of violation for the zoning officer. I know they were out looking at stuff either yesterday or today. I can't remember what day it was.
Correct.
That progress is being made, but they're gonna have to keep a close watch on it. So do we still have to ratify the issuance of the notices?
Well, at last month's meeting, we ratified the issuance of the IPMC
Yeah.
notice.
Okay,
This month, we need to ratify the issuance of the zoning notice of violation, which was issued between the interim of the IPMC notice and Glenn's inspection this week.
okay,
As the board knows, the zoning notice was issued because the motel is essentially being used as a boarding house since the occupants are using these units as their permanent
residents.
residences.
That makes sense.
In that district,
Yeah.
a motel is a use permitted by right.
Yeah.
But
Boarding house
a
is
boarding,
not.
a boarding house is not, right?
Okay, so I'll make a motion to ratify the issuance of the zoning notices of violation by the zoning officer for 4050 Conrad Weiser Parkway.
I'll second it.
Motion made by Peter, second by Jesse, roll call Peter.
Aye.
Jesse.
Aye.
Denny.
And then we have from STE, we have an agreement that we need to execute to have them release our engineering files, subject to final review and approval by the township solicitor.
Right, so I have reviewed
Yeah.
that agreement. Essentially, it says that SDE still owns the files. It isn't making any representations about those files and that we shouldn't alter the files.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Well, in response to my review.
Yeah,
I requested a provision stating that the terms shouldn't be construed to contravene or attempt to contravene any applicable laws like right to know,
yeah.
right? So with that language, the township is protected.
Yeah, because I mean, I get from an intellectual property standpoint, they produced it, but we were the paying customer for it.
We paid for the.
Yeah,
So we're certainly entitled to the
Yeah.
files.
yeah. So, okay, if you're okay with it, pending those red lines,
And they have been incorporated.
okay, good. I don't have any objection to authorizing the execution of that agreement based on the changes by the solicitor. That work for you?
Yes. And I'll second it.
Motion made by Peter, second by Jesse, roll call Peter.
Aye.
Jesse.
Aye.
Denny.
Aye.
Okay, in terms of old business, we solved the sinkhole at Forge Road. We're looking at getting that in as a dirt and gravel low volume road grant in the spring. And then we're still looking at the pipe situation on Wintersville Road. Equipment for the table here, some stuff. I found the necessary equipment. Now that my credit card is not currently being used to pay for gas and is maxed out, I can purchase that equipment on the Marion Township Amazon account and get that here for next month.
Peter,
Yes.
on Wintersville Road, now the guy called me tonight, he said he got a flat tire when he hit that hole in the Wintersville Road.
Yeah,
Is
it's,
there something we can do with that? Go,
At the
cold
culvert,
patch or something?
at the culvert, right, at the driveway, the one,
Yeah.
yeah, I saw it. Okay.
yeah, we had been putting stuff in it, but it's sinking, like the pipe is just shot.
No, not there. This is-
Not there?
This is, it's. We saw it.
I think they
Okay.
filled it up there last year. a couple
Yeah,
years
as I say, I know there's a couple
I
there.
remember
I
filling
thought-
up down there, the one.
ago. This will be just about the top, where the lane is there. I think that's where.
Oh, well, there's another one down at the bottom.
Oh, here's the one at the top.
There's one there, there's a couple on Main Street. We just gotta get some cold patch in and
That's
once we're not plowing snow.
next month that they start putting out cold patch, like end of March.
You can actually get stuff.
Yeah.
Really? Okay. Well,
I actually just called, Wilmsdorf had a pile left over there, wanted to get rid of last month. I just called them up and said, now they threw it apart on it. Spring wrap.
oh, do we want to have Carl pick up a load of cold patch?
I can't get a load yet.
Okay. Well, I mean, pick up a quantity of cold
Yeah,
patch, to be able to tactically address some potholes when it's not snowing. That's honestly, I wouldn't even think that would have to be voted on by us. That's just road maintenance stuff
Yeah.
that the roadmaster does. So if there's some above and beyond the normal need, let us know, but take care of it.
Yeah, no, I just get a cold.
I also wanted to mention, at the intersection of Wintersville Road, there's that weird like X really tight intersection there.
For the stop sign.
Yeah.
In Williamsville and Stoutsburg.
Yeah, somebody hit a couple of the bollards that are keeping that tight turn there so that like big rigs don't make that turn and
Oh,
hit the
where
person's
the
house.
rocks used to be.
Yeah. There's like 3 of them that got knocked over, so we just gotta take the spike out and put it back in. And then you had something that you,
Yeah, there was, the pothole on Main Street, the Curtis canister, I sent you in the screenshot there. He was.
Yeah, I put stuff in it last year. We saw that one too.
Yeah, and then, also what you were telling me about with the Y there. You were gonna look in to see who owns that stop sign, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's PennDOT. I didn't get a chance to do it though.
Peter.
Yeah.
I had talked to you before about that at the Y, at Blue Spruce, the,
like 90, every time it comes up,
Reflector signs.
we get 90% sure that it's PennDOT, but every once in a while we get a little wishy-washy thing from
we'll
that.
put those reflector signs up.
Yeah, so depending on what you find, Carl, if there's something that we can do to fix it, just, this PennDOT's not gonna. I applaud your willingness to.
I think those,
fight against
the
PennDOT.
yellow, yeah, we checked into that and I think they said it wasn't theirs.
They
It was theirs, or,
said the street sign for Christmas Village Road
Was not theirs.
okay,
Yeah.
I'm confused. I know we looked into it before.
Now, every time it
They
comes
said
up,
the stop sign was theirs and something else, but the street sign
Yeah.
wasn't.
every time it comes up, if you call them 10 times, you'll get 9 of the same answers, which is it's theirs. And then one person will be like, no, that's yours.
Well, those yellow reflector signs, I'm
yeah.
pretty sure have PennDOT's sticker on the back.
I'm pretty sure we put those up actually, because we got tired of dealing with PennDOT and not having them do stuff. So we were just like, screw it. So yeah, take a look at it. And if it's something simple, let's just, if you want to deal with PennDOT, deal with PennDOT. Otherwise, make it right.
Nobody wants to deal with PennDOT.
Yeah. That's fair.
Stop sign at Sheridan.
Here, he said there was a stop sign down.
Is
Yeah,
there?
it's twisted.
Okay. So he's got it on his radar. Thank you for bringing it up though. Yeah, if you see something, don't hesitate to give the township a call. Let us know. Carl's pretty diligent about driving around and taking notice of that stuff, but we can't be everywhere all at once. So if you see something wrong, let us know.
This last couple of weeks, actually.
Yeah.
Poor Lisa had to call the state because they dropped a whole load of salt in the middle of 422, actually. Remember when I called you about that? She
Was
called in.
that why they had the road closed?
I don't know, but he literally dumped the entire truck of salt in 422 in Wilmsdorf, and I
Oh, yeah,
called
right,
you.
the intersection.
Yeah.
The guys were helping clean it
I
up.
was curious why they had lanes closed. That's hilarious.
Poor Lisa.
So the final thing on the agenda is the supervisor's comments. I don't have anything beyond what we've already discussed, other than, hopefully it doesn't snow this weekend. Stay warm and dry, everybody. Jesse, any comments for you?
No comments.
Benny?
Thank you guys for coming out.
What do we say about are we putting out that notice for the, treasurer?
Yes. Yeah, we're gonna put it on LinkedIn and,
Yeah, it was
Indeed.
approved.
yeah.
I'm good.
Okay, Colin?
I have two two items quickly. Representatives of Marion and Heidelberg need to meet with the Topahaken Township Chief of Police to discuss providing police coverage potentially to the Alden development,
Okay.
so that we can finalize the intergovernmental agreement first. And then second, we need a brief executive session to discuss potential litigation on the Tuckman
Okay.
property.
Let me know what the dates that they're looking for that. I'll free myself up. I'll go unless one of these guys wants to do it, but I've been tied in with the Alden on 6 stuff so far, so it makes sense for me to continue.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect that meeting to be long or
Yeah.
complex. But hopefully Topahaken and the chief are willing to provide
Yeah.
service to the portion of the development and technically in Heidelberg.
Brian?
We are working diligently to get our arms around all these open issues. And we're making progress. Planning Commission made progress here this month. Still working with Colin on that. Once it stops snowing, we'll get with Carl and do the same with the street work. So try to get that pointed in the right direction too. So continuing to chip away at it. Thank you.
Thank you. Carl? Abby? Lisa? Okay. Yes, Kelly.
MTCA did set 2 dates, for work detail at the playground, so I just want to think about what exactly you want to do.
Well, I want to put that in the newsletter first and foremost.
Yeah.
What are the 2 dates?
28th in April.
25th.
25th.
I did see that in your minutes.
In the minutes.
I can't post much on the website right now because it's being
Right.
redone,
Yeah,
so.
they're doing maintenance on it.
We're gonna have a whole new platform and everything, so.
The dance date comes off and then we're putting it was June 14th
Yeah.
on. Are there any other dates that have to be changed?
It's the first Thursday of every month.
Those dates, except for the volunteer, is on an email she sent to us.
Yeah, I get that, but I want to make sure that so much has changed and
Yeah,
there's
I
been so
know.
much in flux that I just want to put a line in the sand and say, this is what we're doing. And then that's what I'm gonna update and send to you for getting
Okay.
it printed.
Okay.
Okay. We have, a matter for executive session, so we're gonna be, adjourning the meeting and we'll put the details of that at the next month's meeting. The time, Lisa, is 8:22, so I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
Motion made by Peter, second by Danny, roll call Peter.
Aye.
Bessie.
Aye.
Danny.
Thank you very much, everybody.
I'm sorry.